Have you been following along with my videos and piping tons of beautiful flowers and you're so excited that you have them, but now you have too many? Don't worry. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can take all of those beautiful flowers and put them in a beautiful bouquet that you're going to love. Let's get started. I had so many flowers to choose from, so I started curating my favorite ones, and some of them I only had one, maybe two of. And so in this type of bouquet, it's such a great opportunity to use what you've got and make some of them stand out. And you can see here the color palette I was going for was a very nice rich red and then shades of pink. I even have that one hydrangea that is like super duper neutral pink. And I'd been wanting to create a bouquet that had this kind of neutral pink background. That's how I ended up with a nice all over pink bouquet. I did end up using my tip number 2D. I really love this tip. You can also use a 1M. It's very similar. And I used a mixture of two different paints here. You can see I had this pale pink, and then I kind of coated the sides of the bag with it. And then I went in with a maroon for the middle, and you can see how that looks inside the bag. And then of course I used my squeegee and I squished it to the front of the bag, and that helps with all the air bubbles you might be left with. And here I am just using a bit of leftover green, and this is perfect for using for the background of your greenery, because bouquets tend to look better if you add some greenery as well. And then you can see how I add these flowers onto the canvas. It's by creating a kind of glue with the wet paint. And so I just pipe a little bit, and then I set the dry flowers into the wet paint, and then I pipe some more, and I keep adding. I am using a 12 by 12 canvas here. I think that's a very good size when you're trying to create a bouquet. If you have less flowers but you still want to do this, you can definitely try it with an 8 by 8. I think that's also a pretty good size. And I hope that if you try this, you're very happy with your design. I think it's a very good practice as an artist to do things that are very intuition based. And you can see here how much I'm moving my canvas around. And by the way, I'm using a cake decorating stand. It works wonders for this. But you can see how much I move my canvas around, how much I like hold the flowers over the canvas like before I decide where to place them. And I just play around a lot with space and like, okay, is this a negative space I want to keep, or should I put a flower here? And I think it's a very good practice because it gets you in a state where you can look at something and know what you need to be placing there. And that's always a wonderful skill set to have when you're working with, well, pretty much anything as an artist, but especially with 3D flowers, I think, because when you're working with 3D flowers, it's not all flat on the canvas. So you do have to consider, like, if a flower is up on its side, like say it's on a 45-degree angle, how are you going to cover that back side of the flower? And so you kind of have to think about height and dimension in all the different ways that you might need to assess for a painting like this. But I think that's part of the challenge, and it's a fun challenge to be able to figure out how to lay everything down so that it looks the way you want it to. And then, of course, if you like to do this, here you can see I created a cosmos bud off to the side, and that is actually a very good representation of a cosmo greenery with the wispiness of their leaves. And then alternatively, you can see here by the peony, I am creating a kind of cartoonish outline of a leaf. So I kind of alternate in between being realistic and then being inspired by fun things. And so I don't know what it is that you prefer, but for me, I like to alternate amongst all of these interesting techniques that I enjoy. And I think that's a really cool thing. As an artist, you do get to choose, and you don't have to stick to any one way of creating anything, and you're pretty much free to just design things as you go, and I really enjoy that. Here I am using some eucalyptus. Now these eucalyptus were kind of tricky for me to make. I had made them with another bouquet in mind, and when it came time to make that bouquet, these weren't dry because what I'd done was sandwiched little dots of paint in between two sheets of acetate. And of course this isn't very good. It doesn't get like a whole bunch of breathing, like it doesn't get to dry very easily. But I really wanted it to be a very flat circle. So I still wanted to try it, but it wasn't dry for the other projects. So I ended up using it here, and it's not something I would recommend, but it was kind of fun to play around with. I haven't figured out yet how to make eucalyptus, so I'm still kind of playing around with that idea in my brain of like how I'm going to make it work once I finally get it to work. That's a video for another time. And then here you can see in the end I'm left with leftover paint, so it is the perfect time to make these simple little rosettes, which are perfect for beginners. Here's what it looks like at this stage, and then you can of course, and then after this I am going to add a few more details. At this point, I love to go in with some colors and really make some of my flowers stand out even more. So think about like highlighting the high points and adding depth to the lower points and everything like that. I really like to play with that. And in addition to that, I also like to play around with shading. And this really fun finger painting moment is highlighting the ridges of that center of the peony, which I think just looks super cool. I really like that. And then I basically did this for pretty much all of the flowers. It was quite a lengthy process, so I am just gonna skip that and I'm gonna show you the end result. Now I don't like the background. I don't think it looks good with this bouquet, and I think I should have maybe gone with a white background, but I'm interested to know what you think. Let me know in the comments, do you like this background, or what color would have been better? Thank you for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and have a lovely day.